Shooting the shiznit, shooting the shiznit. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Your host BT and all his guests. You'll never know who he'll have next. Shooting the shiznit, shooting the shiznit. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Shooting the shiznit.
All right, we're live from STS Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas for Conversations. And Lance, this is episode. I want you to get it when I say this. Episode 420. The rumor is, Lance, that me and you are actually funny without smoking weed, unlike other podcasts. So there you go.
I know I've gone on record that, by the way, I'm in the Slim Jim Pork Rind Studios in Chicago today. Oddly enough, talking about 420 and I'm talking about pork rinds. So I think I've gone on record. I've never smoked weed.
Right.
I know you find that hard to believe.
Well,
shocking.
I never went on record with that. Let's just say that. By the way, those pork rinds are really good.
I thought they were pretty hot. For me, it was pretty hot. But
you had the hot ones. I had the other ones, but I thank you for sending those to me. They were really good.
So this is another Monday Constipations? Is that what we're doing?
No, Confessions.
Confessions. All right, great. So
no. It's Conversations, a little short. What happens is now, because we're doing the Memphis show, sometimes we have stuff we need to talk about. Actually, tomorrow, Gene and I will be here live talking about was it really that good? A WWE show from Memphis. But me and you got a few things we need to talk about, so it's going to be about 20 minutes. First, tell us all about the TOJ. You actually released the brackets yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. So here is the official mug, coffee mug, thanks to KT Does Art. Did the junk mug from last year.
Last year? Yep.
Yeah, that was last year's mug. You can probably still find that on eBay. The Tournament of Junk, the brackets came out yesterday, and it is the theme of it this year. It's the 12th annual Tournament of Junk, which these Johnny-come-latelys at I'm Fat Podcast doing their third year, So this is the 12th annual. It is the theme, and the concept this time is it is all liquids. So the regions are sauce, drinks, beverages, soup, and condiments. So it is going to be wild. It's you can vote at my Twitter. It's at ChocolatierLL. The first round of voting is Thursday. The more you vote, you have a chance to win a $50 prize pack of junk food. And we've got so much fun on this. We have fun with this every year. So we're doing this today or this year. The host state is Florida because, of course, Florida, and we're on the road to Yeehaw Junction. So if you haven't watched the Taj or participate in the Taj, I should say, we're not a TV show yet. Although we're working on, Home and Garden Network maybe might pick us up for next year. So, but if you haven't watched or participated, check out on Twitter. I've been doing highlights of the last 11 years for the last week and a half or so. So check that out on Twitter at ChocolatierLL. Anybody can vote: wives, kids, husbands, step nieces, whatever, mistresses, whoever you want to vote can vote and participate and get a chance to win the $50 prize package.
Not only a $50 prize package, but we have a new logo, which you'll put up on Twitter. Also, if you're listening to this and go, what did he say his Twitter was? Well, it will be in the notes of the audio version of this, so you can go to his Twitter. We have a brand new logo that was designed by Scar, and it is awesome. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite T-shirts. I will be getting one for sure. And it is the 12th. What do you call it? You've been calling it
hashtag the dozen.
There we go.
It's the 12th annual. Like I said, I mean, everybody does a tournament this time of year for whatever. Like I saw Jericho was doing a Kiss song, I believe, Kiss songs or Kiss albums tournament. Everybody does the brackets, and that's how this all started. It was a parody of March Madness that I started doing just for a handful of friends like 12 years ago. And I started posting it, and it got more and more popular. So now we get hundreds and hundreds of votes every time. I love it. It keeps me so busy this time of year, but it's fun kind of busy. I enjoy it every time. So
and we put
you
it
guys
over.
have fun with it too.
People say, why are you talking about junk food? This is a wrestling podcast. but it's actually something that we put over every year, and it just seems to grow more and more. We have more listeners. You have more people participating. It's really fun. We're also, do you have the PDF up? We're going to try to put the PDF up so we can link it so people can actually look at the brackets.
You can see the regions and the brackets ahead of time. And you can pick your final four like everybody does, for the NCAA. The reason we do it is because we eat. We like food. Everybody eats. Whether you're a wrestling fan or you like WWE or AEW or you hate Jim Cornette or you love Jim Cornette, you fucking eat. So everybody can do this. Everybody can participate. Except if you're like a vegan, tree hugger or whatever, then you may not have a reference point on soy sauce. I have no idea. But anyway, so it'll be fun. It starts on Thursday.
Past winners. Give us
let's see. Two-time winner, back-to-back winners. We had bacon a couple years ago. We had pizza has been a two-time winner. Wendy's was a winner. That was what I believe the official thing that sent Randy Smith off the deep end, because Randy Smith has never been the same ever since then. Let's see who else has won. Tacos was a 16 seed that went all the way to win that year.
Oh wow!
White Castle won. Doritos won the very first year. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Shout out to Tom Reese. So that's most of them. That's been most of the winners. So I think I got most of them memorized. Grilled cheese. That was another surprise winner too. Grilled cheese.
Awesome. I want to say something before we get to the next subject. Look right there, down there on the banner, official phone number. If you want us to answer questions, just want to leave a voicemail and tell us we suck, we will play it here on the show live so everybody can hear it.
I'm sure Randy will call the number and complain about Arby's not winning every year. So that's what sent him off the deep end. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. You said you teased me since I had a surprise for you last week. Yep. You have a surprise for me.
So yesterday we woke up to the misfortune of you being suspended off of Twitter.
Right.
So we have no idea. We were pondering, like, what the hell did I get suspended? I got suspended off of Facebook a number of times because
Don't say it.
Can I not say it?
I don't want to be banned. Let's don't be banned.
So I got suspended on Facebook a couple of times for basically quoting MJF on something that he said on national TV. And they saw fit to suspend me. But anyway, but BT has been squeaky clean. I don't know what's going on. Why did they suspend him? So we find this out. We're trying to figure it out. So the surprise is that I've had my crack staff at the home office in Yeehaw Junction. We had the crack staff get on this, and we discovered the top 10 theories why BT got kicked off of Twitter.
10 of them. Jesus. Yes, all right, go ahead.
Top 10. So we have the top 10 theories why BT got kicked off of Twitter. So at number 10, Korean boy band BTS complained another hot guy was causing confusion in the marketplace.
Not true.
Number 9, he was commenting on wrestling shows that he hadn't watched. Number 8, too much tweeting about gravy. You don't want to drink because you're going to be laughing here. Number 7, they were after Lance but got Brian by mistake.
Oh, that's possible.
Number 6, the trouser lobby filed a grievance. Number 5, Mama contacted Twitter, angry she's not receiving royalties per mention. Number 4, the air fryer industry complained BT's on a diet, screws with their profits. Number 3, Conrad Thompson called, worry about BT stealing his gimmick. Number 2, shut down by Jerry Lawler, bitter about not being able to wrestle on Memphis TV in 2021.
That's possible.
And the number 1 theory why BT got kicked off of Twitter, it was part of Moose's restraining order. There we go. Shout out to David Letterman, the genius that he is.
Maybe real quick. That was a maybe there. It was really funny because what was funny about it is I say, look, I woke up and I posted, it said you got 12 hours. And it said that, and I just start pushing buttons because that's just what I do. And then it said, so after I pushed the buttons, it said 12 hours. And I thought to myself, what the hell did I just push? What did I do? And then I messaged this to you. I said, look, you can get on Twitter and see someone sticking their finger up their banger, as we
Not
say.
that I would. I would never do that.
No, I wouldn't do that. But somebody you could see doing that. And how did I get banned? Come to find out, apparently some kind of glitch It was the Memphis hashtag that I used, and everybody that used the word Memphis yesterday got a ban.
Yep, got in trouble. And so the thing where I finally put it all together was, I think I figured it out like probably right before you did. But the thing that stuck out was some guy was asking Meltzer, hey, I've heard things about this Jerry Lawler guy, that he was pretty hot back in the day somewhere. Can you tell me more about it? And I'm reading that, and I send it to you. I'm like, who the fuck is asking Dave? Like, was Jerry Lawler a big deal? You know?
Right.
So I'm like, that was the tweet. And so then I'm following the thread on that tweet, and a guy said in there, he's trying to get you to say M blank, 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 blank. And he didn't spell out the word Memphis. And so that's when I realized, like, oh shit. So there's some kind of bug. That's when I researched it a little bit. And it said there was some kind of glitch or bug on Twitter saying that the word Memphis is getting people booted off of Twitter. And then I realized, like, you put out the Memphis show on Saturdays, and you retweet it numerous times. So you had said Memphis and got in trouble for that. And that
I did. It was hashtag Memphis. We do that for
such a weird deal. So it was completely innocent, and so this idiot was either this guy really was an idiot and was saying, hey, who is this Hulk Hogan I've heard so much about? Is he a thing? So he either was legitimately asking Dave, who's Jerry Lawler, or he was trying to trap Dave into saying Memphis and getting booted off of Twitter.
No, that's what he was trying to do. Yeah. No,
probably. Yeah.
You sent that to me. You sent it to me and you said, what the hell is this? So it actually had something to do with me, but it was just bizarre.
And there's Elvis behind me. He hails from Memphis. I heard he was a pretty big deal in Memphis too.
Kind of, yeah.
I'll ask Dave. Maybe Dave will know. Was Elvis?
Right. Once you ask him about that, I heard Hogan was over. Big
So, all right. So before I forget, I have a shout out. It's my best friend's birthday tomorrow. John Henriksen turns 79.
Happy birthday, John!
I want to say 79. I think he turns tomorrow, but it's ironic. His birthday is 3/16, and I've known this guy for 30 plus years. And I mean, Austin hasn't been around for 30 plus years, but I never realized that his birthday is 3/16 is on Steve Austin Day. So very cool. So shout out to John on his birthday.
Shout out. Happy birthday, John. I would do my happy birthday dance, but this is a short version today.
And
so
also, if you see number 6 on the list was the trouser lobby filed a grievance. So you're probably not wearing trousers. So that's the issue there.
Maybe not. All right, man. You sent me something. You said, I want to tell you about Jericho. Because here's what the deal is, guys. If you listen to any podcast, what we do is we get paid to do sponsorships. And sometimes when things called a mid-row, top row, mid-row, all kinds of back row, front row. No, it's the way you do things is me and you can be talking and all of a sudden we go into talking about the sponsor. It's just one of those things that people do. We try to do it a little different. Every once in a while you'll hear commercials all together, and I do it the radio version. I do a radio version. But we do Manscaped that way, and all of a sudden you'll hear the Manscaped us talking about Manscaped. But you said Jericho, Chris Jericho, who also has a podcast, has a new way of doing commercials.
Right. So, I mean, we've talked about it. I think you've gone back and forth on Jericho's podcast. I still love it. I think that he has great guests, and I like just about everything about that show, unless he's talking about a band that I just don't care about. So we've talked about it many times, how we really appreciate the way he smoothly goes into the commercial.
Well, you even call it a Jericho. I remember the first time we did the Manscaped commercial, you messaged me and you said, man, you did the Jericho very well. Right, and I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks.
Where you're just basically, you're in the midst of the interview, and then he just says, but before we get to that, let's talk about, Arm & Hammer cat litter, and he does it so smoothly. It's flawless every time he does it. He probably, the first couple of times he did it, he probably had to practice it, but it was flawless. So anyway, I'm listening to it last week, and it was the episode, if you ever want to go back and look for it was the episode about Cheap Trick and bands that I like. So he's talking about Cheap Trick. And so the episode was sponsored by Geico, and they announced that at the beginning of the show. And I'm like, well, that's weird. They usually don't announce that. So what he did on this one was he had taped the entire interview with this guy. And so he would ask the guy, like, hey, when was the first time you saw Cheap Trick in concert? And the guy would answer, 1995. I saw them in San Francisco, or, whatever the conversation was. Then they would go back and edit Chris's asking of the question. So they would delete the way he asked it. Instead of saying, when was the first time you saw Cheap Trick? He would say, our friends at Geico would like to know, when was the first time you saw Cheap Trick? So the guest had no clue it was happening, because the guest would have started cracking up, I'm sure.
Oh, I love that.
So he says, our friends at Geico want to know, when was the first time you saw Cheap Trick? Then they resumed the tape, and he says, I saw him in 1995 in San Francisco. So the first time I heard it, I don't know, 5-10 minutes into the episode, I cracked up. I thought, oh, that's really cheesy. They did it like a dozen times throughout the whole episode. In fact, to the point where, so like every other question, it felt like they would edit it out. So it would be a different take of Chris saying, our friends at Geico would like to know what your favorite color is. And then he just answers the question like it's normal. My favorite color is purple, There was one where he actually did it after the guy answered. Like the guy answered the question like, well, my favorite drink is coffee. Oh, our friends at Geico would love the fact that you liked coffee because they're fans of coffee too. And I'm like, this is the cheat. Please we can never do this for Manscaped. We love our sponsors, of course, but I don't ever want to say our friends at Spunk Loop would like to know, what's your favorite type of pasta or something.
Lance, our friends at manscaped.com
it should have been a red flag when the episode was sponsored by Geico, because they never did do any other, there were no commercial breaks. It was just that throughout the whole show, but it happened like a dozen times in an hour. And I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. So it was the one thing Jericho's done as far as the production of the episodes of the podcast that I was just not a fan of. So
hilarious. I love it. And there's always, we were talking to Brian Thompson. He's going to be with us next week. He always has ideas about where to put an ad at. He's like, send it to me. Tell somebody, put an ad here, put an ad there. But that was probably Brian Thompson's idea, and we didn't even know. Man, we only got a few more minutes, but I want you to rattle off. Tell everyone we have a group. And I gave credit to the group and for me to start back this podcast. And it was because of that group. And we want everybody to join, because every Monday night, every Wednesday night, you guys do a thread that is just really fun. Pay-per-views, you do a thread. So tell them how to get to it.
So Cool Kids talk wrestling and MMA, or wrestling and MMA talk. It started 5 years ago. Yesterday was the anniversary, 5 years ago. And like you said, it was me, you, and Robinson. I think you give Robinson a little bit more credit than he deserves, because he came up with the name of it, basically. He called it Cool Kids, But it really started informally when it was a handful of us, like J.D. McKay, Jamie Ward, Dave Wolf, Jeff Siegel. We started doing a live thread during Raw every week. And that was when Raw was a lot more watchable than it is now. There's weeks where it's me and two other guys, during Raw on Mondays now, but I do it out of force of habit because it's fun. It's fun to do, and it lets the show go by a little bit more, a little bit easier to digest. But we do it on Wednesdays with Dynamite. That's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot more people contributing there. Pay-per-views, like you said, regardless of what pay-per-view it is, there's usually more people there. So I think that group spawned whatever and spawned some other wrestling groups. And I mean, there were definitely wrestling groups before us or around simultaneously with us. But I think it's fun because there's a lot of knowledgeable people in there, and they let you into. But but we have a lot of fun, a lot of knowledgeable people, a lot of smart asses, and we also break news. Like I remember, like when Dusty died and when Roddy Piper died, we were all right away. It got posted, and right away we were all putting our thoughts in there on that. So on serious stuff like that too. So I think it's great. You don't have to monitor it daily or anything, but I think it's great. It's a great forum for people to share ideas and thoughts and opinions. So
you got to search for it and you got to answer 3 questions. I give TR the credit because he was the one, you were asking questions. We would do it in chat, or we would do it on your page.
Yeah.
You tag us all, and we just decided, and he did come up with the name, but the name is Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. You have to search that on Facebook. I'll put it in the Shooting the Shiznit Facebook group there. You guys can, our page, you guys can search it. You'll answer 3 questions and you can be part of the Cool Kids. And that's for people that's just joined us. The Cool Kids Countdown is where we got that. And Lance, we're closing in on 100 coming up in a couple of weeks. 100 Cool Kids Countdowns.
And you thought we'd get about a dozen out of the gimmick and be done with it. But no, there's always
something to count.
There's always something we can always talk about. So whether it's like parody stuff or real stuff. But
we're getting off here, guys. So you guys can we're getting off all the live feeds. We may talk Patreon for just a few minutes for only $3, guys, for Patreon.
$3.
$3.
You can get one of these mugs. You can get one of these cool mugs. A little bit more than $3, but you can still get them.
Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as Lance knows, I love my mama.
She is pissed because she's not getting royalties from you, but I have fun everywhere I go. Have fun yourself.